All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the video where I completely lose my mind. I gotta be honest with you. I reacted to this on Hypnocast, and I didn't want to believe it. I just didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to believe it was true. I honestly completely ignored it when Grums first posted it because I was just like, there is no way. There is no way that this is true, and yet it is. So we have a post here from Grums, and it says the following. So let me get this straight. Actually, historical figure Yasuke in Assassin's Creed Shadows battles to rap music, walks through villages beating Asians up, uses excessive non-honorable violence, crushing heads of defeated enemies, makes all villagers bow to him incessantly, has dialogue that paints him as a discount Batman savior of the Japanese saying, "I am justice." Japan isn't having it, Ubisoft. Here are their comments. When I saw especially the battles to rap music thing, I absolutely lost my mind.
Full of the exaggerated swagger of a black teen. It gives me goosebumps every time he does it.
Now, the funny thing is, ladies and gentlemen, this entire thing ends up being true. When Assassin's Creed released the video of gameplay for Yasuke, while the graphics look beautiful, there is no doubt about that. While the setting looks very pretty to look at, no doubt about that. Assassin's Creed is very good at setting a nice setting. Ultimately, when I played that video, at first they had me. They played traditional Japanese music when Yasuke was fighting. And then at the 5-minute mark, all of a sudden it gets to this boss battle and the hip hop music starts playing. And I just cringed so hard internally. Have you guys ever cringed so hard internally that you literally felt the pressure inside of your body? You're like, wow, this is just really, really, really bad cringe. Now, if you guys don't believe me, I have the video pulled up here where I am more than capable of showing you what I mean. Let me show you the beginning where they kind of bait and switched me a little bit, where I thought this was going to be a normal experience where it's not going to be so obviously DEI infested. Let me show you exactly what I mean. So this is the initial combat. Check this out. Okay, so first off, I mean, the whole hulking thing, like, I get it, man. Like, if there was a black male in feudal Japan, there is a good chance that he was going to be towering over Asian people in that time period. Because listen, they do it now, right? So it's not too hard to believe that this guy Yasuke would be towering over other Asian people in the game. But his methods of combat is very interesting for this particular time period, and especially since, I mean, at the end of the day, it's Assassin's Creed. They're going to allow this kind of gameplay to happen, so nobody should be too shocked that this is happening. But here's where it gets cringy. The 5-minute mark, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not even kidding, man. I was watching this live, and if you want to check out my reaction live, me and Atreus, we reacted to this live because none of us could believe it. None of us could honestly think that this was possible, but this is maximum level DEI cringe. Let me mute my microphone. Check this out.
Up the road toward the castle, a corrupt samurai named Fujioka.
Protector turned persecutor. Greed cannot rule this village. Not while I have breath in my lungs and a blade in my hand.
I said kill him. I'll wash away his failure with your blood.
You will have to spill it first.
I want to be very clear about something. The only reason why there is hip-hop music in this game is because the protagonist is black, ladies and gentlemen. That is the only reason why. You can try to dance around that all you want. You can shill for this game all you want. I've seen people on Twitter lying about it, trying to say, oh, no, this is just the kind of music that they would go for regardless. No, bitch, that's not how this works. The only reason why there is hip-hop music in feudal Japan right now is because the protagonist is a black samurai. That is the only fucking reason. Some white leftist at Ubisoft was like, you know what? The only way this is going to be proper representation is if we throw some hip-hop beats into it. So let's bait and switch people first with the normal Japanese music that you would expect in this kind of a game, and then once it hits a certain point, let's throw in the hip-hop music so that the black people can feel represented, because, you know, they can't do anything without their hippity hop. You might as well just have them eating fried chicken at the same point. This is the most stupid shit I have ever seen in my entire life. And I honestly thought that Miles Morales' Thor was maximum levels of racism in terms of representation, but I think this beats it. This absolutely beats it without a doubt. The only thing that it doesn't have that Miles Morales Thor had was that Miles Morales Thor was incapable of speaking normally. He can only speak in raps. Yasuke doesn't seem to have that problem, but Yasuke apparently thinks he's Batman. He's the justice. He's the savior of the Japanese people in Assassin's Creed Shadows. I mean, it's so cringe, man. It's so cringe. And the crazy thing is, listen, I'm not black, obviously, so I don't have any skin in the game. But ultimately, this has to be some of the most racist forms of representation I have ever seen. And this is not going to be the end of it. You guys know there's going to be way more hip-hop music in this game, probably. There's going to be other stereotypical racist things that they're going to throw in there because the protagonist is black. They have to go the extreme every time they showcase a black hero. It's ridiculous, man. So, with that being said, we have some translated comments from Japanese people, and they, as you would expect, are completely roasting this game. I mean, they are roasting it through and through. Now that they've seen the gameplay trailer, they're talking about the fact that Yasuke is just straight up being dishonorable and killing people left and right in villages and in a brutal fashion that samurais would not have done in that day, but they don't seem to care. Like, that's not something that's on their mind when they're talking about things like this. Like, they want to make something where a black male looks like he is extremely powerful and he is the one who is above everybody else in Japan at the time. Now, we do have another post from Grums. It says, "This is what I mean by cheap tokenization that feels racist. How they just reach for the easiest, tropiest, shallowest characters instead of real diversity. Everyone looks the same. The list is vast." Now, what you're about to see here, this is what I call the modernity fade, ladies and gentlemen. This particular hairstyle is absolutely the modernity fade because this is what white leftists think all black people look like or should look like. They think like this is the only hairstyle that exists because every character that is made by a white leftist normally will have this hairstyle attached to it, which is hilarious because this is all we've been seeing lately. In every single character, they have the modernity fade. So let's see what the post says. The way Yasuke is depicted with Japanese music set to rap beats, honestly, again. Anyway, Call of Duty celebrating black culture with hip-hop collection and Snoop Dogg and Nicki Minaj operator bundles, cheap stereotype culture instead of real culture, written and created by white SJW activists, which 100% is true. Activision citing how diverse their supply chain is when all they show are taco trucks. Where are the high-end diverse suppliers, plugins, software, hardware, etc.? It was all just cheap pandering and it feels actually racist. As Elon put it, it's the appearance of good instead of actual virtue. And that's exactly what this is, ladies and gentlemen. Let it be known that when they virtue signal to the max like this, it's because they themselves have so many skeletons that they have to hide in their closet that they use virtue signaling in order to hide it, right? They try to use virtue signaling to shadow what they actually believe and think and feel. And they think this of black people. They think that the only way to create any sort of real representation for a black character is to make them be attached to some form of hip hop, R&B, have the modernity fade hairstyle, have this weird like kind of mannerism to them. I really don't know what it is, but it's just clearly characters that are made by people who aren't actually black. And they have this weird fetish idea, like a fantastical idea of what it means to be black. And that ends up translating to these characters. So listen, man, at the end of the day, there are black people that are absolutely going to eat this up without a doubt. They love being virtue signaled to. There is no doubt about that. But there are a lot of black people who are fighting against this too. I know a lot of them, and they are laughing their asses off at that Yasuke rap beat shit. That is just the most ridiculous thing I have ever seen in my life, and it's not going to be the end because every time I think that it can possibly, like we've hit the pinnacle, right? Like we've hit the absolute apex of what virtue signaling is capable of in terms of racism. Every single time I think that, we end up with something new, and we end up with something that is just even more blatantly ridiculous. I don't even know what to say at this point. Like the fact that you got rap music playing in feudal Japan, what are we doing? So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.